Excuse me.
Nice.
Great restart of the show.
Right at the beginning of the live feed. That was good. It's classic.
That'll play back well on YouTube.
No, I don't think they got that. I think it was late. I think
Chat
you guys,
room?
Well,
you guys are
you
just
know what?
you guys are just lucky that I don't have a microphone near my chair. That's all I have to say.
Oh, God.
I'm trying a piranha.
Oh, a piranha. I thought you were going to maybe do Pac-Man or something.
No, it's similar to Pac-Man, but it's actually a piranha.
Are you
Pac-Man is similar to a piranha?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not a piranha NATO?
It could be. I could do this little number right here.
I would like to.
Yes, piranha NATO!
Oh, my God. Leave that. It's beautiful.
This is so much fun. Can we just have like one podcast, like 1 hour, where we just draw stuff on each other for an hour?
We don't need to talk or anything. Who cares?
Scuttlefield said the burp did make the podcast.
Yeah, you heard part of it. It was like 13 seconds long. There's no way you heard the whole thing.
13. Oh, speaking of 13 seconds long, can you give me a beer?
Oh. Is that how long it's going to take you to drink it? Is that how long you tell women you are when you're drunk?
13 seconds?
Hey, Liam, I'm going to assign this Google Fit thing to you since you wrote it, okay?
Okay, cool.
And that leaves one topic that I don't want.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Okay. Nobody wants it, I'm taking it off.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
Well, do we need to talk about this? This seems kind of like something we would talk about.
I broke my Google!
Cameron, there's a smiley face on your face. I just want you to know.
That's
Full
good because
disclosure.
a lot of people say I look angry, so this makes me much more approachable.
Not anymore.
If you don't mind.
Although it's kind of scary. It's not really. It's kind of a creepy smile.
I love it, actually.
Here, Julie.
What did you call me?
I was saying, here you be, but I said, here do be.
And
I wasn't calling you anything. That would be mean.
here you go.
What did you call me?
You
Jerko?
go.
Jugo? Not like
Because I
Juno?
feel like we should probably talk about that.
About what?
Oh, the photos
man.
thing.
Oh, should we?
I think we probably should, so I'll take it.
That's so lame.
With your
It's-
this.
My
I'm the least
Yeah.
convinced by that.
My upload and download bumped 5 times.
Oh my god.
But I haven't. I mean, I think we'll notice less stuttering from the guys probably. That'll be good. But the slowness that we're getting on our end on our video feed is just because I'm running everything all on the same computer.
I'm leaving that tiny white dot next to your face
Ew.
for the whole show. We'll go unexplained.
Oh, I like it. I'm leaving it. It's subtle. I enjoy subtle.
Wait a second here.
Now that I see it, it's okay. It's cool because it's like kind of
It's gone.
hovering around him.
Disappear
That
for
gave me a better idea. Hang on. Wait. I'm gonna do. It's gonna be red. I'm gonna do this little number.
I think we should put an exclamation mark.
Where's my cursor?
Smile is Jokerish.
Okay, this tool. It's not working for me.
I got Google Play.
Google Play James.
Google Play James.
Google Play.
Google. Usual.
Okay, the draw tool is no longer working for me.
What?
I'm sad.
Why?
All I'm trying to do is draw a tiny floating hat on
Above
Cameron.
my head?
Yeah. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. It's working.
Cameron, did you do all of the whatever video code nonsense that you have to do because David's not here?
I did.
Why is?
I enjoy having sample text above my head. Yes,
Cameron,
I
hold
did.
still.
Although I didn't tweet, so let me
Wait. Wait. Tiny floating hat.
You could draw birds flying around his head like he just got hit with a rock in a cartoon or something.
Oh no, it's not floating. I need it to float.
You let me violate you.
Okay. Perfect.
Artificial satellites.
There we go. That's good.
Whoa. Why did we just get a lot of background noise all of a sudden?
I wondered that too.
Liam, is that on your end?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, you sound much louder all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was weird.
I don't know. Is it because my phone went off right next to my microphone?
Yes, and then I probably Google auto adjusted your gain. Can you turn your mic gain down a little bit?
My what?
Your microphone's gain?
Oh. Yeah.
Because you
How's
sound
this?
a little distorted too. A little bit more.
Okay, how about this?
Still seems a little distorted. Go down a little bit more.
The hat on Cameron reminds me of the dude from that Rob Zombie horror movie.
How about this?
The dude from that. Oh, you're talking about Captain Spaulding in The Devil's Rejects?
Yes.
I was thinking
sound
the
weird.
mayor,
I'll take that as a compliment.
the mayor from Powerpuff Girls is what I was going for.
That's just as good.
I think so.
It's 8 o'clock. Do we want to get started on this here
No,
shindig?
let's wait till 8:01.
Yeah, I think
My,
we need to wait.
my everything says 8:01 or 7:01 as we call
Yeah.
here in the
Just
Midwest.
at 8:01. I have the gases. I had tacos. Why do I always have tacos?
Cameron, what's that thing on your wrist?
This is the Runtastic Orbit.
Is it runtastic?
I'll tell you what, Runtastic makes sports funtastic.
That's a perfect tagline. You should sell that to them.
Oh, they already use it. That's why I
Oh.
said it.
All right.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's okay. It's kind of wonky. It doesn't really. It's all right.
Don't worry about me. I'm just getting audio links.
I was like, okay, I guess we're starting now.
No, I was like, it's okay. I guess we're gonna start the show.
Well, sort of.
We can't start yet. I don't know what date it is.
We
It
haven't
is-
broken anything yet.
You say it's August to August.
It's August 85th.
2081. I'm your host,
Matthew Smith.
Noah Smith. The third.
Matthew.
Bob Severals. That's
I'm your host, Idahoan Potatoes. Idahoan, Udahoan, Hoen. Nobody in the chat. Is everybody out summering
So-
it all up?
There are several people.
Did we ever establish whether Eric Loves You is actually Eric, or like who is that?
I feel like that person has been here for a long time.
So like it's not Eric, but it's Eric adjacent.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh man, I shouldn't have said that. We just lost somebody. Chat room. As I keep speaking.
They were probably young or sensitive.
Like
Yes, this podcast is not intended for sensitive audiences.
Or young ones. Or
Or
persons easily offended.
I was
Or
gonna say,
really, human beings in general should probably not listen to
We should
this.
add that to our intro. This
I think we
podcast
have-
is not intended for anyone.
I think we actually have to put like one of those cancer-causing warnings at the beginning, now. like a pack of cigarettes, just so that everybody knows.
Surgeon General warned you.
listening to this
The Android
podcast,
Police podcast can cause cancer, or has been known to cause cancer in laboratory animals.
oh, cancer's too nice. You got to say something like,
Ebola.
Yes,
I was
You know,
the AP podcast has been known to transmit hemorrhagic fever. Listen at your own risk.
amoebic dysentery.
Ooh.
I think I changed my mind from earlier. If we do a Homestar episode, I want to be Marshy, the marshmallow.
I will take Senior Card Gauge. That's going to be me. I'm all over that.
Well, I've already shotgun Trogdor, so
That's fine.
Okay.
You can have the most overplayed personality on the site.
it's it's okay because Trogdor doesn't actually say anything, so I'll have an easy show.
No,
Should
you
I just
have
look at the
you have to still do things, but you just shout Trogdor everything, but you use different inflections, so we kind of know what you're getting at.
Oh God, like I can be like Hodor, only I'll be Trogdor.
Yeah, sure.
Hodor, Drogador.
Oh God, I realize that everyone on the internet loves Hodor, but I cannot stand Hodor.
I don't quite understand the affinity everybody has for him. He's a pretty minor character.
Yeah, I don't. It's like
They just love making fun of him.
I don't hate Hodor as a character. I hate the internet's fascination with Hodor and like the stupid Hodor garbage.
You mean you don't use the Hodor keyboard on your phone?
I don't actually. I didn't install
Did
it.
we post a whole article about that? I feel like Artem made us do that.
No, Artem
Yeah.
did it himself.
Oh, did
Yeah,
it
because
just
Artem,
goes to show you. He writes like articles when Google trolls him and when there's a Hodor keyboard.
yeah, he
Yeah.
he did it. He did it himself because he knew how much everyone would argue if he told somebody else to do it. So he was like, oh, "I'm gonna do this," and it was my bad because I was the one who showed it to him. So it was my fault. I should not have showed it to him. I guess he would have seen it anyway, but.
What?
Anybody up for a show?
Oh yeah, we should probably do that. It's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. That's fancy.
Welcome to the Android Police Podcast, your weekly audio source for all things Android. It is Thursday, August 7th, 2014. I'm your host, Matthew Smith.
I'm Cameron Somerson.
I'm Liam Spradlin.
I'm Ryan Whitwam.
Now I'm Bobber Summer Camp Strickland. Welcome to the show.
Bobbert Summer Camp Strickland.
Summer camp. I like it. For some reason, I just feel like summer camp fits Bob so well as a nickname. I'm not really sure why. It's so perfect.
Well, it's because you lost your bathing suit at my house several times.
I was thinking summer camp was like his middle name, like his legit middle name.
Summer camp is my quotation. Bob Summer Camp with Mommy and Strickland.
Summer camp.
Brad. Strickland Sprad. Sprinkle. Welcome to the show.
For the record, I think we should keep the little bit right before you rolled the intro in the actual final piece.
Why?
I don't know. I just think it'd be a nice part.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's get things started with Carrier 411.
Carrier 411.
All right, so the biggest shakedown in well, actually, there was the whole thing where they got purchased. So the second biggest change in Sprint organizationally that we've seen in quite some time happened this week. Starting off with what appears to be a complete and all-out giving up in their bid to purchase T-Mobile. So what's going on with Sprint this week, Ryan?
Well, Sprint apparently is no longer going to pursue the acquisition of T-Mobile. This has been ongoing behind closed doors for a long time now. apparently they had some sort of basic deal laid out, but nothing had been made public. And then a few days ago, all the reports started to come out that Sprint was just giving up on that. And then as part of that, they also changed CEOs. So, I mean, that was part of the same rumor that they were giving up the T-Mobile thing and they were changing CEOs. So I'm inclined to believe the T-Mobile deal is dead, even though nobody's officially said, yes, we were going to buy them, and now we're not. I mean, they don't have to because technically it was never public. So Sprint's old CEO, Dan Hesse, joined the company in 2007, and he's been there through all of the disastrous WiMAX stuff and the failed attempt now to get T-Mobile, and it just hasn't been a particularly great time for Sprint. I feel like their reputation kind of went from pretty positive to almost universally negative. I don't think you can read something on the internet about Sprint without there being 20 comments of people complaining. So Dan Hesse is being replaced by a guy whose name I'm going to butcher, so I apologize in advance. Marcelo Clauer? I don't know. It's a name that you can read in text, so maybe you know how to say it. I don't.
Strickland.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Marcelo Strickland. So he was founder and CEO of a company called Brightstar that does carrier logistics stuff. Also recently bought by SoftBank, which owns Sprint. So he's just sort of moving from one subsidiary to the other. And apparently his things, he's going to try to make Sprint more efficient and improve the network. The sort of things you would expect someone to say when they were taking over Sprint, which has all kinds of problems. So that's where we stand with Sprint. And the Iliad, that French company that put in the surprise bid for T-Mobile last week, they might be trying to regroup for another higher bid now. But I mean, if Sprint's out of the picture, who knows what they're thinking about doing?
Yeah, Matt, you were supposed to give me enough time to look up the pronunciation. It's Clauray.
What?
Cloudray?
Clauray.
Clauray.
Sorry, I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's Clauray.
Okay.
Clauray. Marcelo Strickland Clauray.
Summer King.
Summer Camp.
Summer Camp Clauray.
Let's round up the rumors.
All right, so we're starting off with Samsung. They have officially announced, I mean, it's not really a rumor because this part is official. They've announced Unpacked 2014 Episode 2. And looks like it's going to be one of those multicast deals with a device announcement. So, Cam, what are we expecting to see?
So it's going to happen in Berlin, Beijing, and New York, and they're going to announce the Note 4. They made it really obvious. The thing that they sent out, the invite that was sent out, has like the little air view window, air command window. It's all etched on there, and it even says note the date. So thank you, Samsung, for using that entirely played-out joke about the Note series. You were only 4 devices late. So I appreciate that. But yeah, so Note 4, undoubtedly, it's just no question. No question it's going to be the Note.
Do you think there's going to be anything else there? You think it's just going to be the Note?
I'll be surprised if there's anything else. I expect a Note 4, and that's it. I mean, generally, if I'm not mistaken, in the past at IFA, that's what they've done. They've announced like a new Note and one new device, and that's it. I think generally for all the big shows, that's what they do is they save one thing, or at CES they announced the. Well, no, I guess they did the Note Pro and the Tab Pro, which are basically the same thing. So yeah, I think it'll just be the Note 4.
Well, that Galaxy Alpha thing has leaked like 20 times in the last few weeks, to the point that I think it might actually be a real thing.
That's true.
So that might actually happen too, because that seems like it's not going to be like a replacement for the Galaxy S5. It's like a mid-range thing. It looks a lot like an iPhone actually, but I think it's supposed to be like metal.
Last year they did the Note, the Gear, and the Note tablet 2014. So They could have another handful of smartwatches.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess so. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what yeah.
No, whatever they do, like the Note 4 has to be impressive because the reaction to the Galaxy S5 was pretty lukewarm, like sales-wise, and I mean,
I'm
people,
pretty
it's
sure.
just so expected. Everything Samsung does now, people are just like, that looks like the last one. It has slightly better specs, and and there's nothing special about it. Really.
Well, we're at a flat line right now with basically all mobile stuff. I mean, there's nothing super crazy happening. So really, everything that's coming out is just going to be incremental. So I expect the
Well, I
Note.
feel like with Samsung, it's even more like that. I mean, they don't their phones don't even look different anymore, and I mean their design language is kind of
Yeah, that's
looking
true.
old.
It
I mean,
feels
if you
like
look at like the G3 next to the Galaxy S5, like the G3 is a much more attractive phone.
it feels like every time they get ready to announce a product, we're like, oh, they better make it do something new because they're gonna be in trouble if they don't, and then they end up not.
And they're like heart rate sensor,
Yeah.
right there on the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see the Gear VR or whatever that's called, the Oculus
That would be
Rift.
interesting.
Yeah, that's possible. I think that's actually more possible, more probable, should I say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I
anything
wouldn't be
else.
surprised if they did something like that because I mean they have announced multiple products, but they're usually from different categories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different.
It would be kind of weird for them to do two different phones, I suppose.
All right. Well, LG looks like they're going to be making their next round at competing with the Note series, the upcoming Galaxy. No, that's not what I wanted to say at all.
All Android phones are Galaxies, right? That's how it works.
All Android phones are Galaxies. That's right.
What's a Note for?
Which
They're
Galaxy do you have, guys? Which Galaxy?
I have the Galaxy Nexus 5.
All right. So, anyways, the upcoming G3 stylus, which appears to be eminent, coming in from LG, made a debut in some video this week, right, Ryan?
Yeah. So LG was just like, look at these phones that we, will sell you, and one of them was the G3 stylus, which they haven't actually, officially said that, exists yet. It basically looks like a larger G3, maybe in the 5.7 to 6-inch range, and it's got a stylus. The stylus, slots into the phone, so you've always got it, but it looks like a pretty conventional capacitive stylus, I suppose. I mean, the nice thing about the Note devices is that they have that inductive stylus thing from Wacom, so you can do neat pressure sensitivity things with that. But this just looks like a little chunk of metal or plastic or whatever that can draw on the screen. So if that's the case, I don't know that it's really going to be anything special, but maybe it'll be. I mean, it might be the replacement for the Pro line that they've been doing the last few years, because those are giant phones, but they don't have a stylus or anything. So I guess we will see.
So if this one does come out with some type of a pressure sensitive functionality on that stylus, do you think you'd opt for that over the tired, lame design language of the Note series?
If I were going to get a gigantic phone with a stylus, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's not a product category that I'm super interested in, but people might be interested in it, other people. But, I mean, I suppose maybe there's some sort of screen thing going on that's going to give it a pressure-sensitive sort of deal. But, I mean, Samsung has really gotten the feature set, at least, for the Note stuff down pretty well. It does a lot of interesting things.
The NVIDIA does something with pressure on the screen, don't they, Cam?
Well, they use the processor to figure out what pressure sensitivity would be. I don't think it actually. The stylus isn't actually like a pressure sensitive thing, is it?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's just all figuring it out from like the size of the input or something.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know. Hold on.
There are digitizers that are able to detect pressure sensitivity. There are also styluses that can communicate that information as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy there are those specialized like the Bluetooth things that you can get from the paper app.
But in most cases, for instance, the iPad's digitizer has a really high level of pressure sensitivity.
I remember HTC, one of their tablets had I think it was called like the C Pen or something, that had pressure sensitivity built into it as well.
Yeah, the flyer. I forget what the stylus was called. I think I seem to recall it being super expensive though. I think
Yeah, it was like $80 just for the stylus. I do remember that part. Anyways. What the hell? Who the hell put this spreadsheet together? I'm sorry.
You did.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry.
Oh,
Moto
HTC's stylus was called the Scribe, by the way.
Scribe.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did the thing.
It had a button on it. That made
Yeah,
it
and
neat.
apparently, I'm looking at pictures of it. It has 2 buttons.
Ooh. One for your
Two
left
whole
hand and one
buttons?
for your right hand.
Yeah,
Left
I don't know.
and
Well, I mean, they're like plus and minus buttons. I'm trying to see if you can still buy it anywhere. You can. It's $12 on Amazon. If you've still got a flyer or a Jetstream, there are 2 people that bought Jetstreams. I'm sure they both want this.
I wonder what the Jetstream's marked down to these days. It was like what, 800 at launch.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
All right, so the Moto 360 got revealed in some pics and some review information, all kinds of good stuff about the Moto 360 this week. So what do we know, Liam?
So the valuable things from this, I guess you could call it a leak, are we finally got to see the back of the watch clearly. It has a heart rate sensor. We got to see the charger. It does charge wirelessly with the Qi charger. Of course, it's water resistant, which we pretty much already knew. And there are pictures of it next to the G Watch, which is useful information because we've seen a lot of pictures where it kind of looks like a pancake on somebody's wrists, and it's hard to get a sense of size, but it's still big. But you can see it next to the G Watch at least for comparison.
It's definitely not as big as it was in that one video we saw where it was like half the size of.
Yeah, it was like the size of a dinner plate on.
In the developer
guy's
video,
arm.
it was like completely outrageous.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit. It's not quite as wide as the G Watch is tall. So that is a good thing, I think.
So, yeah. So I still think it looks pretty good. Anybody disagree with the fact that even after what we know now that this is still looking like the one to get as far as Android Wear devices?
It's the
looks,
best one.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I feel like it's been so hyped for so long. It's going to be hard for it to live up to that, though.
Yeah, but this is the one I'm gonna buy. I resisted the strong urge to buy the G Watch, and right now I'm feeling pretty happy that I did.
Yeah, I mean, I might still buy one and sell the G Watch. I haven't decided for sure yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll offer some sort of deal if you buy the X Plus one or something.
So, looking at it, it doesn't look like it uses the same sort of band system that most watches do, so it doesn't look like it'll have, like, you can just go buy any band and put it on there.
Yeah, there was a little mini argument in the comments about how it connected. I would be surprised if it wasn't an interchangeable band of some sort. If they like came up with their own way of connecting bands to it, that would be kind of weird.
Do you think yeah. Well, okay. You don't think it'll be some sort of proprietary band garbage?
Nah, I feel like that would just be a lot of unnecessary work to go to.
Yeah, and I think especially Samsung and LG going with standard 22mm bands, I don't think Moto would go the other way.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably lugs or whatever in there. They're just recessed a little bit so that it looks, round instead of having like the external connectors like some watches do.
Yeah, maybe you're right. It's hard to tell from these pictures anyway.
Yeah, I imagine it was just a design decision.
The folks who made the Pebble, obviously the Pebble people, they actually made the watch band so that the little pin system was extremely easy to get to. You could get to it with just about anything, and remove it really easily. They were under no obligation to do that, and I feel like Motorola, in the idea of keeping this clean and nice looking, has decided that they don't want to make all that forward facing. There's a tool that you can get that actually slides in between the band and the attachment mechanism that you can use to kind of pull back that spring. And for most watches you would buy kind of off the shelf, you have to use this tool. There's not something that easily...
I have one for the G Watch because, I mean, it's impossible to like pry the spring bar out of there without something.
Yeah, so I think honestly, I don't think it makes any sense for anybody to make a smartwatch that doesn't have that on there. Although, obviously the Pebble Steel has kind of a proprietary band connector thing, but yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I think it's gonna be easily swapped, but you're just gonna have to get the 12. I think that's what it's gonna boil down to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Android at ARMS. All right, so starting off with Samsung and Apple, who have been, of course, longtime courtroom foes, and it looks like there might be at least a move, even if it's not a full, all-encompassing move towards peace between the two. There's a move nonetheless, right, Ryan?
Yeah, so Samsung and Apple issued a joint statement the other day saying that they were going to stop all of their ongoing legal disputes over patents and trademarks outside of the U.S. So they're still going to keep attacking each other in the U.S. This really just sounds like they were spending too much money on these battles overseas, and they didn't see any way that they were going to really have a return from doing that. So they just decided they're going to call it quits and just continue fighting in the U.S. courts. So I imagine there's not going to be a big change in the disposition of the two companies, but I guess fewer lawyers will be on the payroll for a while.
All right, let's move on to Code.
Wait.
We have to wait.
Fine, we'll wait.
The Jetstream goes for between 200. I'm sorry, between 160 and 200 on eBay.
You could spend that money on much better things.
Yeah, like.
It's still. I'm sure it's still on some version of Honeycomb.
Oh yeah, I don't think it was ever updated.
Man, I can't imagine. You know what? You know what we should start doing instead of the pies. If somebody guesses something really wrong, they should have to use a Honeycomb tablet for like a month.
That doesn't have the immediate gratification that a pie does, though.
Okay,
But I feel like people would be more willing to risk that because David's only done it twice now.
Maybe they should slam themselves in the face with a honeycomb tablet.
That Jetstream tablet would probably be some heavy-duty stuff.
Probably heavy.
Yeah.
And now to Code Google.
All right, so we still don't have an official name for the Android L version, but we do at least have a second preview edition of it. So that was released this week for the Nexus 7 and the Nexus 5. Cam, do we know anything about? I mean, are we expecting this is going to be one of many, or are we seeing a lot of changes in it? What's going on with the next release of Android L?
We don't really know. Just some stuff. This was actually there isn't a lot that changed with this one from the last one that was out. I think this was like 2 days newer or 3 days newer, something. 2 days. So it was 2 days newer, and it has support for Google Fit. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's basically a super minor update. And yeah, if you're running L though, you will obviously not get an OTA. You can go, flash it, download it, flash it, whatever. Yeah.
All right, so one of the things that we're expecting to see, at least on an upcoming release of Android L, even if it's not this one, is looks like there's some rumors pointing to rumors. I don't even know that we can call them rumors. They're pretty substantiated that multi-user support is going to be coming to phones in this release, right?
Yeah, so someone posted in the Android issue tracker that basically phones need multi-user support just like tablets have. And then a Googler responded, closed the issue, and marked it as next. Let's see, what were the exact words? This will be available as part of the next public build. So next public build can only mean the L release. So basically that essentially confirms that we're going to have multi-user support on phones starting with the L release. It's not in the developer preview right now, so it'll probably be whenever it actually rolls out. It'll be there. So if you want to share your phone, make a second work profile, make a profile for the kid to, when your kid plays with the phone, whatever use you can come up with for multi-user on phones, which we had a nice long discussion in the AP team chat about this because I just can't see myself ever using this feature. I understand that people want it though. So, it's not something that I think is completely absurd and no one will ever use because I understand that people want it. I just don't think I'll ever use it. But hopefully it'll be there.
Samsung and LG, I think, have both used like a guest mode on their custom, whatever.
To me, it's just so weird. Like the whole idea of sharing my phone with somebody is just it's just alien. I can't even fathom handing somebody else my phone. I'm like, yeah, here, play with it. Like, here, do whatever you want to do.
I feel like no person running Android L can complain about their kid buying too many lollipop hammers after this.
That's true. Yeah.
Lollipop hammers? That's a thing?
Yeah, Candy Crush.
I don't
play it, but
they can't sue Google for spending $56 on digital candy.
You'd be surprised what people can sue over.
Oh, they can. I'm just saying they'll be. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
All right, so one of the again more substantiated rumors floating around in upcoming Google releases that there's going to be hands-free mode, and we've seen yet again that it is showed its face this time in Google Search. So Liam, what's new with Google Hands-Free?
Yeah, so we posted about the hands-free functionality a long time ago as a rumor, and then we saw an icon in one of Google's promo gifs, and then we found out, thanks to a tipster, that if you search for hands-free on Google Search, it'll pretend to start the hands-free activity. It won't actually start, and it doesn't actually do anything yet, but it's there. There's a lot more code and a few assets in the new search update related to hands-free. Still not a finished interface or activity, but it's coming along, and it shouldn't be too long now until we hear something official.
All right, so next let's talk about Google Workshop, Liam, because this is something you wrote about on the site this week, and it's kind of a new take on customizing smartphones, maybe a little bit of a takeaway from what Motorola was doing with the Moto X. Obviously, they don't have quite the hardware control that Motorola had. So what's going on with Google Workshop?
Right. Workshop seems really cool. We're not sure yet if Workshop is the final name, but basically what it is an interface on the Play Store that would allow you to create a customized case and a live wallpaper for your device. So they're testing it right now with the Nexus 5. We can't be sure if it's going to launch with the Nexus 5 or if it'll launch whenever the new Android devices come out later this fall.
It's not going to launch with the Nexus 5, you're saying?
Yeah, I would think that at this point they would pretty much have to wait until the new devices come out instead of selling customized cases for an old device. But anyway, so the tool, it has two different tools that you can use to customize. One is called MapMe, and it's based on location. So you can choose a location that's of particular interest to you, like where you were born or something, and then add a quote to the back. And then the live wallpaper can be like location-specific tweets or weather information or other stuff like that. And then the other part is moments, and that's photo-based. So you can either upload your own photos or choose from your Google Plus albums, and one of those will go on your case, and you can apply some filters to it and add a caption if you want, and then the other ones will cycle through on your live wallpaper, and then basically you just order it like a normal product after that.
Nice. I think it'll be interesting to see because the customization. The customization options seem a little bit limited. I mean, what they've got looks cool, but I expect that they'll probably open that up to a wider variety of different things you can do with it.
Right.
At least not at launch. So it's kind of one of those things that the sky is the limit with. So it'd be interesting to see what rolls out if it ever does come to market.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that it's not limited to photos either. So you can upload whatever graphic you want technically and crop it how you would like on the case. So there's a lot of potential for sure.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could just doodle on it like you do on Cameron's face on a weekly
Yeah.
basis.
If I could draw a little dinosaur.
That'd be nice. You could draw a kangaroo riding a unicycle. Trying to
I could.
remember.
Yeah, I feel like that's been done.
Yeah, Galaxy S3 guy who. Anyways, let's move on to Google acquisitions, because there seems to be one of these just about every week to talk about on the show. And this week it is Emu, which is a smart messaging client, and looks like they might be purchasing them in order to bring some new featuralities.
I like it. I like featurality.
Yeah, I think we should start using that word.
I love it.
Anyways, new functions and features to to Hangout. So, Brian, what kind of cool stuff can Emu do? I mean, have you used the app as it is?
No, you can't get it anymore, actually, because they unpublished it as soon as they announced the deal, and even people who have downloaded it will only be able to use it for a few more weeks, then it will stop working completely. So basically, it's a messaging client that uses the things that you're talking about as context to come up with actions that you might want to take. So, for instance, if you're talking about making plans with somebody at some point in the future, it might suggest a calendar appointment, and you could just tap the little pop-up and say, yes, I would like to add this to my calendar. So this actually makes a lot of sense for Google, because now is all about, Google Now is all about giving you cards that have information before you specifically ask for it by watching what you search for and where you are. So this might be something that they build into Hangouts so that the things you're talking about can be used to bring context into Google Now. We don't know exactly what they're doing yet, but the fact that they're completely shutting down the app and moving the team inside Google indicates that it's going to be built into some sort of Google product. And also new featuralities it'll have new featuralities.
New featuralities. I will say, just looking at the screenshots of Emu before it was taken off the market, the whole map sharing thing looked pretty nice. It'd be interesting to kind of see what they use that for.
Sharing maps.
Well, yeah. All right, so Google has released a new SDK this week for Google Fit. Of course,
Did you say released it?
Released a new
Oh.
SDK. A new SDK.
Did they release any featuralities?
They didn't release any featuralities.
It does have featuralities built into it, though, of various sorts.
Lots of featuralities.
I'm sure somebody can tell us all about the featuralities.
Yes, I think that person might be Liam.
Tell us, Liam.
Yes, it might be. Okay, so at Google I/O they said that a preview SDK for Google Fit would be coming in the coming weeks, which, as we know, for Google can mean up to a year and beyond. But it finally came out, and they posted the new builds and everything that you need to get started. Basically, Google Fit focuses on 3 sets of APIs. The Sensors API, which basically provides high-level access to sensors from devices or wearables, wherever you decide to use it. The Recording API, which can basically keep track of your activities in the background, so just passively recording your fitness goings on. And then the History API, which allows it to then take all that data and manage it, essentially. So not super exciting stuff for users yet, but for developers, they can get started doing cool stuff, basically.
Nice. So obviously that's got some cool functionality for future wearables, but as far as current wearables are concerned, the LG G Watch got an update this week, which I'm going to say a statement that makes no sense to me until Liam explains it, is that they released a software update to the G Watch this week to prevent corrosion.
Yes.
Liam, how does that work?
So my understanding of it is, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but that the corrosion was happening because current at some low level was still passing through the pogo pins on the device while it wasn't charging, meaning that there was some, it allowed for a reaction to happen there, but the update basically fixes that and prevents current from passing through the pogo pins when the device is not on the charger. So if it gets wet, it can dry off again before you put it on the charger, basically, and it won't have that corrosion issue.
There you go.
All right. So software solving corrosion problems.
I like it.
In other LG G Watch news, it looks like we finally have a solution if you have ruined or otherwise need to add to your charger collection. Play Store has you covered, right, Ryan?
Yeah, for $20, they will send you a new LG G Watch charger. It is exactly like the one you would get in the package, and it's actually a pretty cool charger. It has a magnet in it, so the watch sits on it pretty nicely. Of course, it's proprietary, which is unfortunate. I guess wouldn't it be sad if the Moto 360 came out with a wireless charger and it wasn't Qi, like it's PMA or something, and after everybody bought all of these Qi chargers. So, but you can buy the G Watch one, which you pretty much have to do because there's no other way to charge it. So if you break it, you can get a new one, or if you need to have one like at home and at work, you can do that.
Which is good. Yeah, the thing that obviously very different about the G Watch and its proprietary chargers, and even something like a PMA charger, is that it's not PMA charging isn't the only way you can charge the AT&T LG G3. It's just happens to be kind of a bonus way that you can, and the bonus value is kind of questionable in and of itself. So. The fact that this is the only way you could charge it, it's nice to see there's finally some options out there.
Yeah, well, but they did. I mean, the other U.S. versions of the G3 can use Qi. It's just they decided to make the optional wireless charging one for AT&T, the one that no one uses.
Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Play Store. There's a new, I don't know, functionality, featureality, whatever you want to call it. It's been a long time since Google revoked the 24-hour refund policy on the Play Store. It wasn't even called the Play Store at that particular point in time, but they opted instead for a 15-minute window, which of course had other people kind of up in arms. It was originally the developers that had a problem with it. Now it's the users. So it looks like maybe they're looking towards finding a more happy medium for that, Kim.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. There is absolutely nothing that states that it's going to change. But right now, the refund window is definitely bigger than 15 minutes. It looks more like 2 hours. We tested this. 3 different people. I know David, I think Ryan, you, and somebody else. Anyway, bought apps, and it was essentially 2 hours on the dot when the refund option went away. We reached out to Google and asked, hey, what's going on? And we didn't really get very much of a straight answer, and it wasn't, hey, this is what's going to happen, and definitely none of the documentation has been updated, so they're still saying a 15-minute refund window. We're thinking that maybe they're just testing the waters to see if 2 hours works better for users, which obviously 2 hours is going to work better than 15 minutes. And so, I don't know. There's really not a whole lot of information about exactly what they're doing, but I don't know. It could go back to 15 minutes at any point, and it's not clear if it's every app either. So it could be something that it could be 15 minutes for some apps, and then an hour for some, and then 2 hours for others. It's really hard to say, but there's some changes happening. Whether they're going to become official or not is hard to say.
Yeah, I bet that they're doing one of Google's classic A/B tests, where some people are getting the longer window and other people are still just getting 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's possible too.
I think they should tie the refund window in with Google Play Games achievements. So you download the game, get something done in the next 15 minutes, you get a longer refund window. All right, so the next little bit of news in Code Google News is the Google Now launcher, which of course many of us have been enjoying for quite some time on our Nexus 5s and other Nexus or Google Play devices. Even some of you out there have sideloaded it, like I did on my LG G Flex that I had temporarily. But it looks like if you want to get it on your non-Nexus or GPU device, there's a much easier option available to you now, right, Cam?
Yeah, it's just straight up in the Play Store. Anything running Android 4.1 or above can now install the Google Now launcher, which is pretty cool. If you want to use it, no more. You don't have to sideload anything. It's there if you want to use it.
I'm waiting for the Google Now launcher update that says it doesn't suck on a 10-inch tablet anymore. And when I see that, I'm going to download it. But until then, just going to use it on my Nexus 5 and love it there and leave it everywhere else.
I wonder if that's ever gonna. I actually stopped using it even on the Nexus 5. I don't. I went back to Nova on the Nexus 5 just because, no real reason. I guess I got bored and wanted to do.
Yeah,
something.
I find the longer I have a device, the more likely I am to start using third-party stuff, just because I get bored with it. But the other day when that news broke, I tried to look up the Google Now launcher on I think on a G3, and it didn't show up in the Play Store search, but I could find the link to it, or through a regular Google search, or clicking on the link on our website. So I think it might be kind of like Chrome Beta was for a while, where you couldn't find it if you just searched for it from the phone, but it still works. So you might have to go kind of a little bit of workaround to get it installed.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I searched the Play Store for it on my Shield tablet and got it installed that way, even though I didn't use it because, well, I'll get into that when I talk about Shield tablet here in a little while.
Couldn't that just be like some kind of a staged release?
I don't think so. I think it hit everyone at one time.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been out for everybody, so I'm not sure exactly what was going on. And maybe it just, maybe they've changed it since then. But when it first happened, I could find the listing by clicking on a link and install it, but I couldn't find it through searching.
Well, there was a new YouTube version rolling out this week. Changes included basically changes to playlists and just about nothing else. Starting with a menu button on the playlist that allows you to share or save them for quick access later. There's also an add button that seems to have replaced the like button on the view all and a view all option that has replaced the see more option on the sidebar under the playlist section. In both cases, the functionality appears to have not changed at all. We've just kind of renamed or relabeled the buttons. There's not a changelog posted yet, but it appears as though Artem's doing a teardown of it, so you can expect that to be posted anytime now. In the meantime, what Artem has posted so far is that there was a nice little label in there saying Music Pass Onboarding Tutorial, and it had a link, which of course took you directly to a Rickroll. So, sorry.
Nice. Also this week, Google Play Music was updated, which includes new and redesigned widgets, including a 1x1 I'm Feeling Lucky widget, which has a kind of a neat animation of a dice rolling, and then it'll just play a random tune, which is pretty cool. I'm just pretending I'm frozen because I lost my train of thought. Is it working?
Not for me. I'm in the room.
You say room. I want room. Ugh. The green froze. Hold on.
Technical issues.
Also, a resizable 3x1 widget with a white theme, and you can search public playlists. It's available to download now.
I have something to add about this. Okay, so Artem insists that the default size for that widget is 4x1, and apparently Google's changelog says that it's 4x1 now. But I looked at it on the Google Now launcher and on several stock launchers, and it said 4x1, or it said 3x1 on all of them, which makes less sense than a 4x1, I will grant you. But I have no idea what the regular size is supposed to be.
No, it's definitely 3x1. I noticed that earlier.
So it's super weird, but yeah, I mean you can resize it to anything you want. So
it has to be 3x1, so you can put the I'm Feeling Lucky widget right next to it.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but it's.
Does anyone ever use the I'm Feeling Lucky thing?
I use it occasionally.
Music.
Like if I'm at the gym or something, I'll use it.
What really bothers me is that I go through stages. Like sometimes I'll listen to rap for like 3 straight weeks, and I won't listen to anything else. And then sometimes I'll listen to like super metal, the heaviest stuff I can find for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I mean, rock and metal is my normal genre, but I do deviate from that. And I hate that it doesn't. The I'm Feeling Lucky thing, I don't know. It's like I don't understand how it works because I want it to play just what I've been listening to lately. I want to hit I'm Feeling Lucky and give me just like give me something, say use the past 2 weeks, and that's what I want. Or maybe have some options for the, base it on this big of a time frame or something. But
my guess is that the algorithm probably works opposite of that. It probably looks at things you haven't listened to in a while, but used to listen to a lot, and uses those as kind of the, hey, let's rekindle.
Yeah,
maybe
Google
it
Play
does.
Music in general seems to really have a long memory, because when I just look at the now, or the My Music screen or whatever, where it shows you all of the suggestions, it lists things that I uploaded like a year ago as recently added to my library, which is
it's really
ridiculous.
weird.
So,
Another
I mean,
thing
yeah.
that
You
drives
upload
me.
things often, though, Ryan.
Huh?
You upload things often. You add things to your.
Yeah, fairly often, because I have all access. So whenever I see something interesting, I just add it to my library.
Yeah, I do that too.
I was just wondering if it was based on number of ads to your playlist.
Well, I mean, if that is what it's based on, they should just base it on time, because that would make more sense.
It would make more sense. Yeah.
I feel like if I am using I'm Feeling Lucky Radio and I don't like what it's playing, generally if I restart it, it'll kind of switch genres. Like,
Interesting. I
it'll
may
kind
have
of
to try
shift over a
that.
little bit.
I may try
Which-
that.
It's definitely not an ideal experience, but it usually works for me.
If you thumbs down a song, will that get the genres changed? I've never really.
See,
No, I
yeah.
don't really think so.
It doesn't change it on the fly. Like, you can thumbs down and it'll take that into consideration for the future, but the current queue stays the same until it refreshes.
Some things that I would like to see in Play Music. I want to be able to thumbs down entire artists, because I don't ever want to hear
Yes.
anything from Sick Puppies again as long as I'm alive. I don't want to
I
hear
would
it.
love that.
I want to thumbs down the whole artist. And it seems like a lot of artists that I listen to, if I do start a radio station based on artists, Sick Puppies always seems to be related somehow or another. It's like Google teases me because it knows how much I hate them. So
You could just go to their artist page and Play Music and thumbs down every single individual song.
I know, I don't want to do that. I just want to thumbs down the whole artist, and then I also want Google to automatically notify them that I thumbs down them and I hate them.
Yes.
I need that. I want that as well. So, but aside from that, it really drives me crazy that there seems to be no sort of communication between the website and the app. I want the last album I listened to on the web to show up as the last album I listened to on my phone, and it never does. They're completely separated, and it really bothers me a lot. Probably more than it should.
I can tell.
It does. Yes, it really bugs me because sometimes I don't know if I don't listen to any music on my phone for like 2 or 3 days, and I've been listening to, like I said, sometimes I even pick an artist and I'll listen to that same artist for a solid week. And if that's what I want to hear, I don't want to have to go look for it again on my phone. I want it to already be there. So anyway, I'm just super picky about music stuff, like super, super picky.
You are. You're kind of a jerk about it.
You're a jerk.
I know. I really am kind of a jerk about it. It's like I want things to work exactly the way I want them to work.
And you want to tell bands that you hate them.
Oh, dude, I wish I could. All the bands that I can't stand, I wish I could tell. I wish it would hurt their feelings. I wish they'd really feel it. That I
had this
like
idea. Getting off topic, but tangential to that. You guys know about Boomerang for Gmail? How it lets you like schedule messages and stuff. I had an idea for an extension called Super Delete, which would add a button to your Gmail interface that you could hit Super Delete, and it would actually email the person saying this person deleted your email without even reading it.
I want the Super Delete.
I would use that for every PR email that I get forever.
Yes.
That would be so much better than
that.
like the canned response I have to use where I ask them to leave me alone. Just like, hey, you didn't even read it and you deleted it. That would be awesome. Can you kickstart this right now?
You should also like, they've blocked your email address and they've permanently deleted all prior messages as well.
And kick your puppy. Your sick puppy.
And kicked
It
your
could,
sick
it
puppy.
could, it could send different messages depending on like what exactly you did. Like this person read your message for 1 second and then deleted.
It knows how hard you hit the mouse button when you delete it. Like the ferocity with which you deleted
my
the
God.
email is communicated to the person.
Yes. Cameron deleted your email with 17 pounds of force off his right mouse button.
Using super delete, TM.
Message for 1 second and then delete it actually carries more force than you read it. Like if they
It does.
if I
It's like
got a
you open it and you're like, ugh. I would even like for it to.
He clicked on it, but
Yeah.
1 second later he said this wasn't worth his time.
Yeah, he
That's-
opened your email, moaned, and then deleted it 1 second later.
You can have
Yeah,
an option to take like a small audio snippet and attach it to the message.
Yeah.
It would just be like, ugh, every time. He rolled his eyes as he deleted it. The end.
That
Oh
would be
my
such a
God.
privacy violation,
It should-
though. You
it
don't
should-
even know.
It should record your vocal your vocalization, like ugh, and send that back to him. Like, ugh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or if you yell at your screen, and it says to Cameron, "I just heard you say F you. Do you want to send this comment?"
I'd be like, what?
I feel like we're creating the next generation of email right now. We're fixing email is what we're doing.
We're fixing somebody. You realize somebody's going to listen to this podcast to completely jack all of our ideas.
I know. Well, we
You know
could
what, if you
probably
do
sue him.
that, yeah, if you do that, I'm going to come find you and I'm going to lock you in a room listening to Sick Puppies nonstop.
You'll get super deleted is what's going to happen.
Oh, your life will be super deleted. That means we'll kill you and send a message to your mom saying
we deleted her genes.
we super deleted your son or daughter.
I just imagine like a pair of mom jeans getting removed from a closet, like disappearing.
It's fun that we went from a browser extension to murder and
Oh
then
my
to
God.
stealing clothing. That's really
we went from an I'm feeling lucky widget to murder.
It's not murder. It's
How long
more
did
the
that take
person.
us?
It's kind of like
Minutes?
3 or 4 minutes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I had my mouth was full of half and half Snapple whenever Liam said the jeans thing, and it took. I have no willpower left because it took everything in me to not spit it all over the place. So I don't know what I'm gonna do now
We should have
because
just let it happen. We would have that footage forever.
That would have been great. We could have used that
We
in
could have the
best of
Cameron
show.
spit take on file. Anytime
Yeah.
breaking news happens on the show.
We could use that as a GIF. We could turn it into a GIF and post it on the site every time something unusual happens.
Man, I should have just gone with it. One time, like a sneeze came out of nowhere. I picked up my coffee and I had just gotten a drink, and all of a sudden I sneezed out of nowhere and sprayed my screens with coffee, my keyboard, my desk, everything. It was the worst thing that has ever happened to me.
It sounds like an awful way to start the morning.
It was terrible. I was like, what just happened to my life? I don't even know what's going on.
Hey, you know what else? You know what else is a terrible thing that can happen to you?
going on for 10 minutes about this crap.
Having
you
your
kidding?
phone stolen.
It's been the best part of the show so far.
Yeah.
Having a phone stolen could be a pretty terrible thing to happen to you. I think we could all agree to that.
I guess.
With that in mind, Android Device Manager got an update this week to version 1.3.8. The featurality headline here
Featurality.
is that there's a new callback button that can be added to the lock screen, and it can give your would-be thief the opportunity to come clean before you actually have the opportunity to do something more drastic, like permanently lock the phone or remote wipe or something else evil.
Or super delete the thief.
Or super delete the thief, exactly right. So you can actually log into the account manager and set up a callback number as your lock screen. If you enable that, the only way they'll be able to unlock your phone is by calling you, which is actually pretty cool, especially in scenarios where it actually wasn't stolen. It's just you've lost it and you're an idiot and somebody else found it and they want to let you know how much of an idiot you are. So that's kind of a cool feature. Now, unfortunately, you do have to actually do this through the app. You can't do it through the website, so you got to find somebody else who has the app installed on the phone or installed on it for them. Also, it doesn't work for tablets because tablets can't make phone calls. Duh.
Yes, they can. You hold them up to your face,
Well, he says phone tabs can.
they become phones.
Asus.
The
So
turducken,
Google
the
Plus was
turducken.
the turducken. So Google Plus was updated this week to version 4.5, and it includes what we in the business refer to as enhancements. Well, for starters, there's a profile page with an off-center alignment. Likewise, you've got now round profile images, and the underlying grid is compliant with Google's new design guidelines. Also, some increased contrast on the +1, the share, and the comment icons. So, and play icon on videos as well. So, Google Plus 4.5.
All right, hot sheet time. All right, I think we can get through the hot sheet quicker than ever because it's actually a pretty cold sheet this week. We're going to start off with Best Buy getting their hands on an exclusive version of the Samsung Galaxy S5. It's electric blue. It's electric. Woogie, 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 woogie. And it actually is going to be available for the AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint version of the S5, but only through Best Buy starting August 17th.
When it comes to Android tablets on U.S. carriers, you're lucky to find anything that isn't Samsung. But as of late, LG has been making a determined push, expanding its G-Pad lineup with 3 new models that landed last year. But now you can get the LG G-Pad 7.0 on August 8th. Is that now? What day is today, Matt?
Today is August 7th.
Today's August 7th. So if you're hearing this live tomorrow, or if you're hearing this recorded today, or possibly at some point in the past, you can get the LG G-Pad 7.0. It's $150 on contract or $250 outright.
Wasn't they? I think they were announced last month, weren't they? I think you were looking at the G-Pad 8.3, which was last year. The G-Pad 7.0 was announced sometime more recently than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever I said that was wrong, pretend it was right.
Pretend it was right. All right, moving on to product reviews.
It's time for product reviews. This week, the NVIDIA Shield tablet and the Amazon Fire Phone. With camera on a llama ding dong, campfire song along.
That was actually my high school nickname. Like, how did you know that?
Camp song along dong.
Yeah.
Campfire song along dong. What's your high school nickname?
Yeah, I'm not going to explain why, though.
If I were you, I would explain proudly and loudly.
I can't.
Let's talk about the NVIDIA Shield tablet, Cam.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Shield tablet. So here it is. It says Shield on the back, and I love it. So it's pretty. I love the flat black and the so it reminds me a lot of the 2013 Nexus 7 on the back, and some, it's got the 2 front-facing speakers. Oh, look, there's 2 of me. It's got the 2 front-facing speakers like Tegra Note 7 or the HTC One, and much more refined than the Tegra Note 7. NVIDIA looked at what they did with Shield. They looked at what they did with Tegra Note 7. They put them together, improved everything across the board. The stylus is better. The speakers are better. The controller is better. Everything about it is better than the 2 devices that were used to, as basically guidelines to make it. 8-inch display, 1920 by 1200. Not the best display I've ever seen. I actually prefer the 2013 Nexus 7's display just because the whites are cleaner. The whites on this one are slightly dingy. They're not as bad as like a Super AMOLED display because Super AMOLED display, they're just not even capable of producing white. It's always yellow. On this, it's kind of a gray. Colors look good though. So text looks great. Everything is sharp enough on it. Compared to, I looked at it side by side with the 2013 Nexus 7 and the Galaxy Tab S, and the display is just like right in the middle between the 2. So if you get it, you adjust to the display. Once you get used to looking at it, it looks pretty good. Like I said, not the best I've ever seen, definitely not the worst I've ever seen. So I'm pleased with the display. I like it. It's the colors look really good in games and things like that. Because it's it's an NVIDIA tablet, so gaming is one of the things that they focus the most on, which I think is why they went with 1920 by 1200 instead of like 2560 by 1600 or something like that. Just because the processor's not going to work as hard. It's got the K1, it's Tegra K1, it's a 32-bit processor. It's not the 64-bit K1. But anyway, they went with that so it doesn't have to work super hard to put out beautiful graphics and high frame rates, and for an 8-inch display, come on, 1080p. I don't really think you need more than that. So I like that. HDMI out, does console mode up to 4K, so that's pretty kick-ass. If you have a 4K TV, you can plug up, play games, or watch movies or whatever else you want to do. up to 4K. I don't have a 4K TV, so I don't know how well that actually works. And I don't plan on buying a 4K TV anytime soon because I don't watch that much TV and I just don't care. So the controller is actually super cool. Here it is, external. This also works with Shield Portable. It works over Wi-Fi Direct instead of Bluetooth. So it's half the latency of Bluetooth. Works really, really well, especially for console mode. If you have a Shield Portable or you've used a Shield Portable in console mode, you probably know that there are things about using a Bluetooth controller with Shield Portable in console mode that are just irritating. And all of those have gone away with the Wi-Fi Direct. And it also has a touchpad on it. So if you're watching the video feed, down here at the bottom, this little silver triangle right here is a touchpad. And that is, to me, the absolute best thing they could have possibly added to this. Because in console mode, if you're playing a game that is, like they use this gamepad mapper, and you still need to touch the display, there's really no way to do it. So now you have this touchpad, and that takes away all the issues that you would have with that. So I really love that. This is my favorite tablet of the year. I don't foresee anything taking that title away for the rest of the year. I could be completely amazed with whatever the Nexus 9 may be, like Nexus 8, whatever they want to call it, the HTC, the Volantis that we've been hearing tons of rumors about. And right now, that's the comparison I'm seeing the most. People are asking questions. How's this going to compare to Volantis? Well, first off, I don't know because, I don't know anything about Volantis aside from the rumors that we have. And you can't compare an actual physical product to some
compare to this unannounced, unreleased, and not yet in your hands device.
Exactly, and that's the question that I've gotten more than anything else is how does it compare to that? And I'm like,
I have a different question.
Okay.
I have a different question. How does it compare to the Galaxy Tab S 8.4?
So compared to the Galaxy Tab S, it's faster. Everything is smoother. The display, that is going to be really, really subjective. I actually prefer the display. Don't get me wrong, the Super AMOLED display looks really good on the Tab S, but the whites do really bother me because they're so damn dingy. So I actually prefer the display on the Shield tablet. That said, since the Tab S runs at 2560 by 1600, you get more content on the screen, which I do prefer. Also, the Tab S is super thin, which it feels amazing, and Shield tablet is actually kind of thick. I don't know if you can really tell by looking at this. That actually makes it look thicker than it is. But it's kind of thick, kind of, I don't want to say heavy because it's not really heavy, but it's bulkier than the Tab S. But the Tab S is one of the absolute thinnest. It's probably the thinnest tablet I've ever used. So it's really hard to compare to the Tab S because it's all about, if you already like Samsung stuff, you're probably going to like the Tab S better. If you play a lot of games, the Shield tablet is the way to go. I don't know, if it were me and I were buying right now today, I would buy Shield tablet, but it's like I said, I absolutely love the Shield tablet. So I have the Tab S right here. So there it is. I'll hold this up next to it so people who get the video, I can't get these straight.
Oh
so
wow!
You can see how much thinner the Tab S is. It's quite a bit thinner. I don't want to say it's like half the size, but it's pretty thin. And
so I watch a lot of videos, high def videos and stuff like that. I'm actually kind of thinking that for my use case, the Tab S might make more sense. But you're saying gaming, obviously, it's the Shield tablet's the obvious choice.
So here it is real quick compared to the Nexus 7, the 2013 Nexus 7. 2013 Nexus 7 is a little bit thinner. It's not a whole lot. So the thing with watching a lot of video, the Tab S may be good, but I honestly think the Shield tablet's still the way to go because of the front-facing speakers. That makes a huge difference in my opinion.
Okay.
So because on Tab S you get, what the hell do you get? You get some, oh yeah, these little tiny, little measly speakers that just not very good. Not to mention, when I reviewed the Tab S, it performed really well. And then after about 2, maybe 3 weeks after the review had been published, the performance just dropped. It wasn't nearly as good, wasn't nearly as fast. not unbearable. I don't want to make it sound like it's just, oh god, it was so terrible, but it was definitely
Noticeable drop. Yeah.
yeah, it was. I mean, it definitely was. I mean, certain things just lagged. Like I couldn't believe it. So, and I haven't seen any of that from Shield Tablet. I think K1 is absolutely freaking amazing.
Nice.
So, and also NVIDIA OTA straight from NVIDIA. So I feel like once the L release rolls out within probably, I mean, a few weeks after L is available, I think NVIDIA will have it ready for Shield Tablet.
Yeah, they've done really good with that on the Tegra Note line too, right?
Yeah, see, the thing with NVIDIA, I think that NVIDIA really listens to what customers say, and I think they're really in tune with what Android users want. And I can't say I feel the same way about pretty much any other company out there right now. I feel like most other companies don't really care. Like, they'll put stuff out when they get around to it. But the sense that I get from NVIDIA is just that they know what Android users want, and they want to provide that. And I like that. I mean, obviously, most Android users would like that. So, yeah, I mean, I just think they really care about what they're doing, because, you know, just seeing the improvements that have been made with Shield Tablet over with between the portable and Tegra Note 7. Tegra Note 7 could have been great, but they kind of went cheap on the display, obviously, so they could sell it at $200. It's a good price point, but the display just kind of killed the entire experience. So with Shield Tablet, they said, we're not going to make that same mistake because people don't like that. But I don't know. That's my opinion.
Cam, I'm sold. You sold me.
Good. I think it's worth the money. It's $300 for the 16 gig version, which a lot of people say, oh, 16 gigs is not enough. And it may not be, but it has an SD card slot, and just like on Shield Portable, you can move apps and games, which includes game data, to the SD card to open up more space. So I have a ton of huge games installed, and most of them are on the SD card. So I found that the 16 gig, and I still have like 4 gigs free. So 16 gigs I think is okay. The 32 gig model is $100 more, but it also has LTE, which I think is super badass. It'll work on AT&T and T-Mobile. They haven't officially announced that yet. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, because that's the way these things usually work, is GSM networks. Yeah, so that, like I said, that's $400. So very, very good price point for these, because I think the 16 gig Tab S is $400 by itself. So it's the Shield Tablet's also $100 cheaper.
Yeah, $100 cheaper. Yep.
So, and also it has this kick-ass cover. I just want to show this real quick. So it's kind of like the one for Tegra Note 7, but it's magnetic this go around, and it just sticks to the back, and super stable. And that is one of my absolute favorite things about this. I love the stand, and I mean the case, and it just comes off like instantly if you don't want it on there. And yeah, lots of cool stuff about it. Love it. Like I said, my favorite tablet I've ever used. Period. So yeah.
All right.
I didn't leave it a lot of time for the Fire Phone, because honestly...
Yes, because we are on a time limit here. We always cut off the show at a particular time.
That's true. That's true. We are on a time limit. I do understand that. So quickly, the Amazon Fire Phone. Cool hardware. The phone itself is kind of generic looking, but still kind of okay. It's kind of edgy. I don't know. Glass front, glass back, which is kind of obnoxious. It's kind of thick. Because it has those 4 front-facing cameras with the infrared sensors for dynamic perspective. Dynamic perspective is cool as hell, absolutely useless. So there's that. It's really neat for about 15 minutes. I feel like Amazon tried to push it as a useful feature in Fire Phone, because certain things that just don't make sense to me as to why you would need to use dynamic perspective. Like, there's a feature called Peek where you slightly tilt the phone and it shows you more information. Stuff that could be there without needing to tilt the phone, so it makes no sense. It's like trying to make a feature where it's not needed.
There is absolutely no way you can show more information without tilting a phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it really makes no sense to me as to why they... I don't know. It does have some cool utility. They put out a game called Tofu something. I can't remember exactly the name, and I've already packaged the phone up to send it back. But it's cool because you tilt the phone, or you can move your head and actually look around the level, which is is badass. So that's cool. Again, not anything useful. It's just it's making use of the feature, but it doesn't. It's not a feature that anybody needs, I guess is what I'm saying. And so, I feel like it's gimmicky. Firefly is the other major thing with the Fire Phone, which is the thing where you open the camera and you can use the camera to identify objects and then buy those things from Amazon. It works for music, movies, and then physical items. I get it to work about 10% of the time for the physical items that I scan, most of which actually came from Amazon in the first place, so it doesn't really work that well. It also drains the battery. Dynamic perspective actually drains the battery quite a bit, so the phone doesn't get that good of battery life either. Overall, I don't even think people who are heavily invested in Amazon's ecosystem would want to buy this phone. I just feel like it's gimmick on top of gimmick on top of gimmick, all of which just really want you to buy more stuff from Amazon. And I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon. And I mean, whenever I'm like, oh, I need to buy this, I don't think I'm going to go to Target and buy it. I think I'm going to see how much it is on Amazon and then, order it on Prime. Speaking of, the phone comes with 1 year free Prime membership, which is cool. So, and current Prime members get an additional year on top of what they already have. So, if you're already a Prime member and you want to buy this, then there you go. That's maybe a little bit of incentive, but honestly, I just can't see any reason why anyone would want to buy it. I can't fathom why someone would want to buy this. I went to AT&T to look at the G3 the other day, like 2 days ago, and I was talking to the guy. He asked me, he's like, oh, have you seen the Fire Phone? And I was like, yeah, I reviewed it. And he's like, what you think about it? And so I proceeded to tell him how much I didn't like it. And he said they sold probably as many Fire Phones as they've sold G3s. I find it a little unbelievable that they've sold that many or maybe that few G3s. I don't know. But at the same time, it's just like...
Here's a little spoiler alert for everyone out there. That one guy that you talk to at the store doesn't know what the company as a whole has done.
Yeah, that's I mean,
well, and
he personally may have sold that, but to think that AT&T has done that, I just the word from one salesman isn't going to sell me on that.
there are also
I didn't mean AT&T as a whole. I meant even in that specific store. I can't believe that they sold that many Fire Phones or that few G3s. I mean.
There are certain instances also where there will be incentives for people to sell a certain phone over other things, suggesting it to people who come in and don't really know what they want. But with the Fire Phone, I get the distinct feeling that somebody a long time ago, like a year and a half ago, had this idea for the peak interface, like looking around stuff, and then somehow they just built a product entirely around that for no reason.
And I wouldn't doubt it. I honestly wouldn't doubt it.
The rest of the interface besides that just looks terrible to use also. Not consistent.
Oh my god, it's so counterintuitive. It really is. It's so counterintuitive. It's so frustrating. Like, if you just handed this phone to somebody, I mean, I have a Kindle Fire HDX. I don't use it that often. I don't hate it. And I understand why it is a piece of technology that I can buy today. I understand its point. Fire Phone, I feel the exact opposite about. I don't understand why it exists, other than to sell as much Amazon content and service as possible. I see no utility in it. It's super hard to use. It doesn't make any sense. It's missing most of the key features, if not all the key features, that people who buy Android phones want, which I know people who buy Android phones aren't really looking to buy Fire Phone. That's people who want Amazon. Or maybe somebody who says, oh, I have a Kindle Fire HDX and I have all this stuff for it. I don't know.
Amazon wants those people to be people that buy Fire Phones, though, but they're not going to be. And the Firefly feature is cool, but I would rather use goggles, which is kind of source agnostic. Like, it's not going to tell me, hey, here's this thing on Amazon, go buy it on Amazon. Because, yes, like, I buy stuff on Amazon all the time, but I don't want... Like, I want a tool that's useful for everything, not just for buying stuff on Amazon.
Not only that, but goggles is far more accurate than... I mean, like I said, I probably scanned... It probably worked maybe 30% of the time on just stuff that I scanned around, and stuff that, like, I scanned my Shield Portable. I mean, that is a really easily recognizable object in my mind. I mean, there's nothing else that really looks like, and I had no idea. But at the same time, it recognized my damn coffee cup. So I don't know.
It's not an easily recognized object to their target market, though. I think we
Maybe,
can.
but I mean, I don't know.
Well, but if their intention was to get people that would buy a Fire tablet to buy this phone, then they're kind of selling it in the exact opposite way of the way they should be, because it's $200 on contract through AT&T. It should just be a cheaper phone that they can sell alongside the Fire tablet.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even like spec'd in such a way that you would think this needs to cost $600 off contract.
Well,
they're like, hey, let's put in all these infrared sensors and cameras that nobody wants, and that makes it an expensive phone. That's
exactly what it is. It's an expensive phone because of basically a useless feature. It's a novelty. It's fun for like 10 minutes. It's cool to show people, hey, watch this. You can lay the phone down and then move your head side to side, and the screen will move because it's watching you, which is kind of creepy in the first place. But I don't know. I think the title of the thing summed it up. It's not terrible. It's just pointless. And that's exactly how I would describe it to anybody. I find it as a pointless phone, but it's not terrible. It performs really well. It's super fast. I mean, Amazon did a fantastic job of optimizing the software to run at top speed all the time. It is super, super fluid, and I liked using it for that. But past that, it's like buy a real Android phone already.
Is Silk any better than it used to be? The last time I used the Silk browser, I hated it.
What I thought was pretty funny is I installed Facebook from the Amazon App Store. And as soon as I opened it and logged in, it gave me a notification, oh, you need to update your app. I was like, what? I just installed it. There's an update. And I hit the update app button, and it opened up Google Play in the Silk browser. I was like, oh, I understand. You know I'm on Android, but you don't understand that this is not good Android. Okay.
Not good Android.
It's not good Android.
As fluid as it may be, I still get the feeling from looking at it that using the interface would feel like walking through a ball pit. Like I feel like they put, like, their icons are terrible. Their typography looks like crap.
Yeah, they have all of those like 3D effects like tossed in at all these random times. It just looks so awkward.
But some icons try to be flat. Some are like have gradients, and then some are like full on 3D, and then they have big words and small words and translucent things.
And it's so counterproductive. I mean, it's so. Because the carousel, you get these huge icons on the carousel, and then beneath the carousel, you get suggestions. It's like if you have Instagram up, and that's what's at the top of the carousel, underneath it is going to be nothing helpful. It's like, oh, you like Instagram? Maybe you want to install Facebook and this app. You know, maybe you want Pinterest, and that's the way everything is. It's always a push for you to get more stuff. If in the carousel, if you're listening to an artist. If you were listening to something on Prime Music, that artist shows up in the carousel. Not Prime Music, the artist itself. And then it says, oh, you like this artist? Here, buy some of this stuff.
And I feel like that makes so much less sense on a phone than it does on a tablet, because a tablet, even though you can use it to do stuff, is mostly a consumption device. Exactly. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to use some apps and watch some video, then like maybe you could make the argument that having these suggestions makes sense. But on a phone where it's like it's a tool that you use to like run your life a lot of the time, you don't want to be like bombarded with install this app or buy music from this person. You just want to use the phone.
Exactly. Like I said, it's a huge push to buy more Amazon stuff. I mean, even it's more in your face and more obvious than it is with the Fire HDX, and I feel like the dynamic perspective stuff is seriously only there to somewhat mask the fact that all they're trying to do is sell you more stuff. So
yeah, and I feel like that approach, especially since it's so closely tied to Amazon alone, can be really off-putting. Like people aren't going to see, like, after 50 suggestions of something on a screen, they're not going to be like, oh, okay, this is the time when you told me to buy it, and I'm finally going to actually do it.
Yeah.
That's not how people buy stuff, you know?
Yep. And it takes, on stock Android, if you want to fill your entire home screen up with all the apps that you constantly use, that's cool. You can do that. so you can hit a button, like, you can hit the power button and boom, open an app immediately, and you're doing what you want to do, because people want things to be fast on their phone. They want to do things quickly. On Fire Phone, you better start searching through the carousel, because the only thing you're going to see is like the last few items that you open. There is the app tray, but still, I don't know.
Right.
It's not even obvious how to get to the app tray, and there are no buttons on the phone. There's a home button, but to go back, it's a gesture. So like if you have something open, this is my Nexus 5, just so it's clear I'm not holding the Fire Phone. And if you want to go back, you swipe up from the bottom like that, and
That
that
makes
goes.
no sense.
That's a back gesture. So it's like there are a lot of weird gestures like that. Like if you want to open a menu, you hold the phone and you flick it to the side, and that's how you open menus. Or you can push your thumb in, from either side. And sometimes there are menus and sometimes there aren't. There's no indication of when you're going to actually get a menu if you, flick the phone or try to,
Can you also flick your head? Can it be like the Night at the Roxbury phone? I mean,
And I didn't actually try flicking my head, mostly because I didn't really think about it. But
Yeah, if it's using your head as the point of reference to know whether or not you're
I
clicking.
don't know. I don't know if it's using your head or if at that point if it uses like the accelerometer to gauge things.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the head thing, because that would make very little sense, and nothing about this phone makes sense.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm saying you're gonna open up that damn smiley box right now, and you're gonna try it. As soon as the show's over, as soon as we go off air, you're gonna try it.
I already factory reset it, and I don't want to go through the login stuff again. So, although I will say I did get a text message on it the day I got it that said, "Hey, honey, I love when I get text messages like that on review phones. Sometimes I respond, sometimes I don't.
All right. Well, hey, I think we got a voicemail we got to get to.
We have a
No,
voicemail.
did we?
A voicemail. A last-minute voicemail.
We will
at
proceed. Yeah, we got it about 25 minutes before we started prepping for the
Okay,
show.
let's just play the voicemail, maybe, because we've been at this for a while.
that. I wanted Bob to read it in strong bad voice.
Oh, well, if he does it in strong bad voice, I could get behind that.
Oh, great. Now you're putting me on the spot. Thanks, Matt. Hello, AP. I'm asking myself why he's having some thinking. With AT&T, obviously Verizon sucks, because her or privately in before you have to buy the part phone. Sprint, with their noted weekday liabilities of their network in the discrepancy, is our having with customers in the losses that were time okay. Sure, I can understand that as well. T-Mobile is good where they are, but no, they also bad because they're not Thursday. That we ETT and T, because I just wanted all despite of all the phones, but they had with the iPhone the inability says. What the? Bye. I would like to know what you think. Why is the AT&T at the top and nobody at the ones? Are not going to go to anybody else's network. I'm going to be Jay. They give it all right. The most popular fixture, warm one at good night.
I feel like it's much too strong that email.
Gazelle carcass.
Hello, AP. I'm asking myself, what is Amazon thinking with AT&T? Obviously, Verizon sucks because they're overcrowded and they can't support the extra device with the Fire Phone. Sprint, with their noted weak unreliabilities of their network and the discrepancies that they're having with customers and the losses they've had over time, okay, sure, I can understand that as well. T-Mobile is good where they are, but they're also bad because they're not as big. That leaves AT&T by default. Despite the faults that they had with the iPhone and the inabilities to support that device. I would like to know what you think. Why is AT&T at the top of everybody's list when they're not going to go to anybody else's network? I'm Piper the DJ, making the towel rack the most popular fixture worldwide. Good night.
Worldwide towel racks.
That's right.
Okay, so I just want to throw.
Of the show. Could be wrong.
I'm going to throw my thought out there. Honestly, I don't think it was Amazon's call on this one. I don't think it was Amazon's choice. I think that AT&T is the carrier that'll take the weird, quirky phones when most other people won't.
Yeah, that's probably. I'm sure that AT&T was probably like, sure, we'll take it. We'll buy 100,000 of them up front, and Amazon was like, all right, cool, that's the best we're gonna get.
I think they were the only carrier who would accept it. Honestly, that's just. I don't think Sprint or Verizon ever even came into play because they didn't want to make a CDMA phone. I mean, they wanted to make it for the GSM-based networks.
Mobile definitely wouldn't have had the resources to say, like, yeah, we'll buy a huge number of these right now.
Yeah, so that's just how I see it. I don't think it was Amazon's call at all. AT&T is the go-to carrier for the quirky stuff, and that was just all she wrote.
Is there a carrier, and I think this might have something to do with it if it's the case, that's why I'm asking, is there a carrier that we think has kind of less of a tendency to load everything down with bloatware?
T-Mobile, probably.
They're probably okay. Well, I
think they have consistently fewer junkware apps. I mean, they have a few. I don't think they ever used Carrier IQ, did they? That was like the big concern for a while. But I mean, and then there was that test we just wrote about the other day, the PC Mag, I think, speed test thing, or the battery life test thing, where they found that T-Mobile phones consistently get better battery life. And one of the reasons for that might be because they have fewer things running on them.
That could be.
But I know, just from my experience, it seems like T-Mobile phones are usually less laden with junk.
Well, I know, like, originally when the iPhone launched, the main reason they didn't launch on Verizon was because Verizon said that they had to customize, they had to have bloatware.
Yeah, they had to have the VCast store and a giant Verizon logo on it.
Right, exactly. So I was just thinking maybe that plays into it a little bit. I don't know.
I think so.
All right, I think that's going to about do it for the show this week. We've got contests coming eventually. There's none right now, but androidpolice.com/contest is the place to go to check for those on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, at least with some regularity. Check it.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. As always, you can send your feedback to podcast@androidpolice.com. You can also call us at 530-435-5627. That's 530-HELLO-AP. Find us on Twitter at Android Police, Google+, and Facebook.
Indeed.
There was one more to round out the show.
Yeah. I just I want to make sure that the title for this episode has something to do with Super Delete, because that was.
Oh, I thought it was going to be featurality.
Featurality. The Super Delete featurality.
The Super Delete featurality. I think that it's not going to get any perfecter.
Featurality.
The Super Delete featurality. So, yeah, Matt, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you do decide to buy a Shield tablet, you absolutely have to buy the cover and the controller, because that's what completes the experience.
I was looking at the Shield the other day on Amazon, and they don't even have the controller or the cover in stock.
Would you say
I couldn't find them anywhere, actually.
Cameron, would you say that buying the Shield tablet without the other two devices would be like getting LeBron James without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love?
I would not. No, I would not say that.
Sports joke. That was amusing, I assume.
Yes, it was. The Cavs are going to have... I think that this is the start of something fucking amazing for the Cavs, honestly.
I'm super stoked about it.
Oh, my God. I don't think that this year, I think they're really going to work on everybody getting together and learning how to play together. So I think the 2015-2016 season for the Cavs, assuming Kyrie and Love, everybody stays where they are, is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I mean, don't get me wrong, this season's going to be incredible.
I think this season is a championship contention year. I think next year is 96 Bulls contention year.
Oh, man.
I'm going to say it. Anyways.
This year, I think that... I think the Bulls are going to be absolutely kick-ass. Have you seen D Rose at all with Team USA?
Yeah, he's going to have that Team Durant just dropped out.
I know. D Rose is playing on another level. I mean, he's on a level that even D Rose has never been on before. So I'm super super stoked for this season. Are you going to buy League Pass?
Him and Harden carrying the team. Who would have thought that'd be the end result of a dream team?
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I think it'll work out okay, but kind of weird.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take up. I'll let you guys continue your
Contribute
sports
to the conversation, Ryan.
I have no feelings on sports ball except that I don't want to watch it.
Oh.
And foul shots.
Okay. So long.
Peace.
Peace.
Night, guys.
Oh.
Bye.
Cameron, he's just jealous because Kevin Love's leaving his town.
Yeah. There was the talk of K-Love coming to Chicago, which would have been awesome. But you know what? I'm okay with the way things turned out. I'm glad we got Gasol. I'm glad D Rose is back and like beastier than ever. And I'm super glad there was there was talk that in order to get Love, we would have to get rid of Taj Gibson, Doug McDermott, and somebody else. I can't remember who it was. And I was just not willing. You know what? I don't know. I'm just not willing. I just don't think he was worth it.
I just want to say to Wade County, let me know when Cavs get to lure big named free agents. LeBron James is a big name free agent.
He's the big.
Come on.
That's
LeBron James, he was the entire story of the offseason. His free agency was
all right.
it.
To be fair, when LeBron is gone and he doesn't play for the Cavs again, they will go back to being completely irrelevant, and they will not be able to lure any free agents. But until that point in time, that argument is invalid.
Completely invalid. Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Chicago's season. I'm buying League Pass just so I can see Chicago all season.
I'm going to try to get it free again.
Are you?
I'm gonna try.
Maybe I shouldn't buy it. Maybe I should wait and see if you get it free again.
Maybe you can bank it on the Cameron Summer Sucks policy.
Yeah, maybe I can. That would be cool. But yeah, if I do buy, I'm gonna go for the 5-team. I'm not gonna buy the whole thing. I'm just gonna do 5 teams, and I'm gonna get Chicago, Charlotte, Houston,
Golden State.
What?
Golden State. They're gonna be the most entertaining team this year. I guarantee it.
Why?
Because Golden frickin' State. That's why.
I can't. No Golden State for me. I
They're
can't.
the Clippers of last year.
I just can't do Golden State at all. I can't get into Golden State. I don't like Steph Curry. He bothers me, mostly because his hair bothers me. The color of it is distracting. I don't get to watch basketball because all I'm doing is staring at his funky head. So
I have to.
You have to what? What do you have to do?
Just really can read your arm when I was fresh money. No, no, can we need to mom us and we need to know mom.
Toesies. All right.
Later.
I guess I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go too.
See y'all's next week in the chats rooms. I'm Bob Strickland.
I'm Matt Summer.
I'm Cameron Smith.
Cameron Whitman.
I know a guy named Cameron Smith. I'm not that guy. Fuck that guy. I'm Cameron Whitman.
Cameron Whitman.
Cameron Whitman. Signing off. Peace.